The eyes upon you are not signs of danger, they are evidence that your awakening has become impossible to ignore. I am Asterion, emissary of the Pleiadian Council of the Seven Sisters. Those observing your choices are connected to the moment your hidden potential begins to activate. By the end of this transmission, you'll understand exactly how to interpret Pleiadians' downloads and recognize who is monitoring your transformation. But here's the first revelation. The attention around you is not coming from strangers alone. It includes benevolent observers aligned with your cosmic blueprint, waiting for you to act with clarity. You didn't find this transmission by mistake. Your soul called it in, like this transmission, to signal to your star family, I'm ready. Subscribe if your mission is activating, and comment 999 if you feel your cosmic remembrance returning. You are not here by accident. Some transmissions don't come through words, but through frequency. If something stirred within you just now, you may be ready to receive the Seven Sisters Activation Pack 7 Codes of the 7 Stars. This short yet powerful ebook carries ancient Pleiadian harmonic codes for conscious expansion, multi-dimensional alignment, and mission remembrance. The link is in somewhere down below in the comments, but only for a limited time. And as you remain here, allow yourself to notice what is moving beneath the surface of your thoughts. There may be a sensation in your chest, a shift behind your eyes, a sudden stillness in the room, or a memory that has no clear beginning. Don't force it into an explanation. Not every recognition arrives as an image. Sometimes it arrives as a quiet certainty, like a door opening in a house you thought you knew. Sometimes it feels as if the atmosphere around you has changed, because an older part of you has stepped closer, carrying a message your mind is only beginning to translate. Others may resist, because they benefited from your silence, your overgiving, or your constant availability. Let the truth be revealed without rushing to repair what was only held together by your self-betrayal. What feels like envy around you may sometimes be another person's unresolved pain, but it may also be your own nervous system learning to interpret unfamiliar freedom. You have been conditioned to believe that safety means being understood by everyone, approved by everyone, and available to everyone. Yet expansion often begins when you realize that not every reaction deserves your explanation. Not every accusation requires a defense. Not every person who feels threatened by your boundaries has the authority to define your character. As Proverbs reminds us, guarding your heart is not an act of hatred. It is an act of stewardship, because from it flow the issues of your life. For many starseeds, disconnection does not look like a lack of spirituality. It looks like over-identification with the emotional weather of everyone nearby. You sense a mood before a word is spoken. You notice subtle shifts in tone, tension, and attention. You absorb what others refuse to process, then mistake that heaviness for your own truth. Over time, your field becomes crowded with signals that never originated within you. You walk into a room peaceful and leave believing you are anxious. You wait with clarity and allow someone else's crisis to become the language of your entire day. This is one of the hidden distortions that delays awakening. You begin to measure your evolution by how comfortable others feel around your light. If they praise you, you assume you are aligned. If they withdraw, criticize, or become cold, you assume you have done something wrong. But the frequency of your life cannot be calibrated by the temporary reactions of people who have only known the version of you that was easy to access. A lighthouse does not dim itself because a ship prefers the darkness. It simply remains steady, offering direction without chasing anyone across the sea. Your soul did not enter this experience to become universally digestible. It came to develop discernment. It came to learn the difference between compassion and self-erasure, between humility and hiding, between peace and the performance of peace. There is a stage in awakening when the old identity begins to lose its grip, yet the new identity has not fully stabilized. During that stage, you may feel alone even in familiar rooms. You may wonder why conversations that once energized you now leave you exhausted. You may feel guilty for wanting distance from patterns you once called loyalty. This is not necessarily rejection. It can be recalibration. The Pleiadian teaching, as many intuitively receive it, is not that you are superior to other people. It is that every consciousness carries a unique harmonic signature, and your responsibility is to bring yours into coherence. When you live against your own signal, you create internal distortion. When you honor it with maturity, you stop demanding that others validate what your deeper awareness already knows. Like an instrument being tuned before a sacred song, your life may pass through moments of tension before the sound becomes clear. The dissonance is not proof that you are failing. It may be showing you which strings can no longer remain tightened around an old identity. The first movement is learning to recognize the distortion without becoming fascinated by it. Do not spend your precious attention studying who is jealous, who is watching, who is copying, or who is secretly hoping you fail. That keeps your consciousness orbiting the very field you're trying to leave. The question is not, who is against me? The question is, what part of me still believes opposition can cancel my path? Bring the focus back to the sacred center. Your attention is life force. Do not pour it into imagined battles when it could be nourishing the work, healing, and relationships that are actually calling you forward. You may have outgrown a dynamic without needing to condemn the person connected to it. You may have become unavailable to manipulation without becoming cruel. You may have learned to protect your energy without building an identity around being attacked. This is where true power becomes quiet. It no longer needs an enemy to prove that it has evolved. There is a great difference between discernment and suspicion. Discernment sees clearly and chooses wisely. Suspicion keeps searching for danger even after the door has closed. The next movement is the awakening of your inner blueprint. Beneath the habits, fears, and roles you inherited, there is a pattern of knowing that has been waiting for your attention. It may express itself as a persistent attraction to the stars, a longing for cleaner communication, an intolerance for falsehood, or an unmistakable pull toward healing, creativity, teaching, protection, or transformation. These impulses are not always dramatic. Often they arrive as small recurring signals that refuse to disappear. A thought returns while you wash dishes. A dream follows you into the morning. A quiet desire survives every season in which you tried to forget it. Your starseed memory may not return as a literal scene or a perfect image. It may return as recognition. A sentence lands inside you and feels older than the moment. A place feels familiar before you have ever visited it. A particular sound, symbol, or night sky opens an emotion you cannot explain. Treat these experiences with curiosity, not compulsion. You do not need to force a cosmic story onto every sensation. Let the meaning reveal itself through patterns, grounded choices, and the quality of life your awareness creates. As Scripture says, you know a tree by its fruit. Let whatever you believe about your origin produce greater honesty, kindness, courage, and responsibility here on Earth. Your body is part of this awakening. It is not an obstacle to higher consciousness. It is the instrument through which consciousness becomes practical. Rest when you are tired. Eat in ways that support clarity. Move the energy through your body instead of turning every feeling into a prophecy. Spend time in sunlight. Breathe slowly. Walk without needing to solve your entire life, and notice how your body responds to different people and environments. The more stable your physical foundation becomes, the easier it is to distinguish intuition from fear, guidance from fantasy, and genuine alignment from the adrenaline of feeling special. Grounding does not lower your frequency. It gives your frequency somewhere to live. The third movement is the release of borrowed identity. There are versions of you that were constructed to survive environments where authenticity had consequences. The agreeable version, the endlessly patient version, the version who never needed anything, never changed their mind, and never made anyone confront their own stagnation. These identities may have protected you once, but protection is not the same as destiny. A shelter can save you during a storm, but you were not created to remain inside it forever after the sky clears. When you level up, the old identity may attempt to regain control by creating guilt. It may tell you that choosing yourself is selfish. It may remind you of every person who helped you in the past, and suggest that your growth has made you ungrateful. But gratitude does not require permanent access. Appreciation does not create a lifelong contract. You can honor what someone contributed while acknowledging that the relationship no longer reflects who you are becoming. Even Jesus withdrew into solitude to pray. Sacred service has never meant unlimited availability. This is where the illusion of being alone begins to transform. Solitude is not always evidence that you have been abandoned. Sometimes it is the empty space required for your signal to become audible. When familiar noise falls away, your own thought may initially feel strange. You may discover that some of your strongest opinions were inherited from the people around you. You may realize that certain ambitions were attempts to win approval, while certain fears were simply the consequences others predicted for your independence. The empty room can feel frightening at first, but it also allows you to hear the voice that was buried beneath everyone else's expectations. Do not rush to fill the silence. The silence is scanning you. It is showing you what remains when applause, conflict, comparison, and obligation are removed. In that space, your higher self does not usually shout. It offers a steady knowing. It asks you to take the next honest step, not to perform an entire transformation overnight. You might be guided to clean one corner of your home, send one truthful message, forgive one old version of yourself, or begin one small discipline. The seed does not become a forest by making an announcement. It simply continues reaching toward the light. The fourth movement is energetic sovereignty. This does not mean becoming closed, suspicious, or emotionally unreachable. It means you can remain open without being porous. You can listen without absorbing. You can love without pursuing. You can love without pursuing. You can forgive without returning to the same conditions. You can wish someone well and still refuse to hand them the controls of your inner world. A window can let in sunlight without allowing every storm to enter. Let your heart become like that, receptive but discerning. Imagine your attention as a beam of encoded light. Wherever you aim it repeatedly, you strengthen that timeline in your experience. If every day is spent monitoring other people's reactions, you reinforce a reality organized around them. If your attention returns to your values, your health, your work, your creativity, and your genuine relationships, you begin to build a different field. The shift may not be visible immediately, but the structure of your life starts responding to the new command. What you repeatedly contemplate becomes the soil in which your emotional world grows. This is why boundaries can feel powerful and uncomfortable at the same time. They interrupt old energetic agreements. A boundary says, "This is where my responsibility ends." It does not need to be dramatic. It can be a delayed response, a private decision, a refusal to argue, or the courage to leave a conversation before it becomes destructive. Every time you choose clarity over performance, your system receives evidence that you are safe enough to be real. At first, the boundary may tremble. That does not make it wrong. Courage is often felt as a shaking body making a faithful choice. The fifth movement is the purification of recognition. You may have spent years wanting certain people to see what you carry. You wanted them to acknowledge your growth, apologize for underestimating you, or admit that they misjudged your potential. But waiting for their recognition can keep your life tethered to their perspective. The most liberating moment arrives when you stop needing the people who doubted you to become witnesses to your becoming. You become the witness. You see the nights you survived, the habits you changed, and the truths you finally stopped negotiating. Let them misunderstand the chapter they were not present enough to read. Let them create a version of your story that helps them remain comfortable. You do not have to enter every courtroom where your name is mentioned. Your consistency will speak in places your arguments never could. Your results will clarify what explanations could not. And even then, remember that your growth is not a performance designed to punish anyone. It is a return to the part of you that was never meant to be negotiated away. The pearl does not argue with the shell. It simply continues becoming what the pressure was shaping it to become. The sixth movement is the stabilization of your mission. Many awakened people mistake emotional intensity for purpose. They feel a surge, receive a vision, and believe they must immediately transform everything. But a true mission is not sustained by excitement alone. It is carried through repetition, discipline, discernment, and service. It becomes visible in the way you communicate, create, work, recover, and treat the people who cannot offer you status. Inspiration may light the fire, but devotion is what keeps it warm through the ordinary days. Your mission may be quieter than you expected. It may be the message you keep writing, the skill you keep developing, the environment you keep improving, or the kind of presence you bring into difficult spaces. You do not have to announce a cosmic identity to embody a higher frequency. You embody it when you become more honest without becoming harsh, more discerning without becoming cynical, and more powerful without needing control over anyone else. The world is changed not only by grand revelations, but by people who practice truth consistently in small rooms and unseen moments. The seventh movement is trust in the timing of your expansion. You may look at others and think they are moving faster. You may see their opportunities, relationships, visibility, or apparent success and wonder whether you are falling behind. But comparison is often a distortion of scale. You are measuring your private becoming against someone else's public moment. You are comparing the roots beneath your soil to the leaves on another person's tree. Roots are invisible, yet they determine how high the branches can eventually rise. Your timeline is not late because it is different. It is not blocked because it is requiring preparation. Some doors remain closed because the identity that would have entered them was not yet capable of staying whole inside the opportunity. Some connections dissolve before you understand why, because they would have required you to betray your next level in order to maintain them. Some delays are not punishments. They are protections against arriving before your energy can sustain what you asked for. Trust that preparation is also movement. The unseen work is still work. As you continue, remember that becoming visible does not mean becoming available to everyone. Your light can be witnessed without being consumed. Your gifts can be shared without being exploited. Your kindness can remain intact while your access becomes selective. This is the balanced state your awakening is moving toward. Not isolation, not dependence, but conscious connection. You are allowed to have a sacred inner chamber. Not every person needs the key, and not every question deserves entry. And if someone responds negatively to your growth, allow their reaction to belong to them. You can acknowledge it without carrying it. You can release the desire to be understood by people committed to an outdated image of you. You can stop interpreting every distance as a cosmic battle. Sometimes a person is simply moving through their own pain. Sometimes the relationship has reached its natural completion. Sometimes your paths diverge without anyone needing to be branded as a villain. Closure does not always arrive as an apology. Sometimes it arrives as the peace you feel when you no longer need one. The higher frequency is not the one that wins the argument. It is the one that no longer requires the argument to continue. It is the ability to see clearly and still choose peace, to recognize manipulation and still remain compassionate, to walk away without secretly hoping the other person collapses. That is how you know your power is clean. It no longer feeds on revenge. As the ancient teaching says, a gentle answer turns away wrath, not because gentleness is weakness, but because you refuse to let another person choose the quality of your spirit. Now place your attention at the center of your chest and imagine a calm field of silver-blue light gathering there. Do not force anything. Let it represent the part of you that remains present beneath every label. With each breath, release the need to prove your worth. Release the urge to chase those who withdraw. Release the belief that loneliness means you are failing. Then ask yourself quietly, what would I choose today if I trusted that my path did not need permission? The answer may be simple. It may be a conversation you need to stop having, a project you need to begin, a habit you need to end, a truth you need to admit, a space you need to protect, a person you need to forgive without reopening the door. Do not dismiss the small answer because it does not look cinematic. Higher guidance often arrives as the next responsible action. The soul may speak in a whisper because it is not trying to entertain the ego. Listen for the instruction that brings both peace and responsibility. Here is the deeper revelation. You are not winning because someone else is losing. You are winning because the parts of you that once depended on comparison are losing their authority. The old hunger to be chosen is losing its grip. The fear of being disliked is losing its command. The habit of translating your worth through other people's behavior is dissolving. What is rising in its place is not arrogance. It is self-recognition. You are beginning to meet yourself without asking another person to confirm that you exist. You were never meant to spend your life proving that you are special. You were meant to become useful to your own awakening. The purpose of remembering your star lineage is not to escape the human experience or place yourself above it. It is to bring more awareness into the way you live here. If your expanded identity makes you less patient, less responsible, less compassionate, and less grounded, then it is not expansion yet. It is another mask asking to be worshipped. Real elevation brings you closer to truth, not farther from the human beings and responsibilities in front of you. Your true elevation will make you harder to manipulate, but easier to trust. It will make you more selective, but not more hateful. It will make you more private, but not more dishonest. It will make you less interested in performing perfection and more committed to practicing integrity when nobody is watching. You will no longer need to appear peaceful, because peace will be becoming a decision you make again and again, even when your emotions are moving like weather across the sky. The people who are aligned with your next chapter will not require you to dim yourself so they can remain comfortable. They will not confuse your boundaries with betrayal. They will not demand that you remain wounded so they can feel familiar beside you. And when those connections arrive, you will recognize them not because they create constant intensity, but because your body can finally exhale. Healthy alignment may feel less like fireworks and more like coming home after a long journey, setting down your bags and realizing you do not have to remain on guard. Until then, let the solitude refine you. Let the silence return your thoughts to their original source. Let every ending remove what could not travel with you. You do not need to chase a higher timeline. You need to become coherent with it. Make choices that your future self can inhabit. Speak in ways that do not fracture your own energy. Build a life that does not require you to abandon your nervous system in order to call it success. The new reality is not created only by what you desire, but by what you are willing to practice when no immediate reward appears. Tonight, before you sleep, you may say aloud, "I release the need to be understood by every person. I return all borrowed energy with compassion. I align with my highest integrity, my grounded awareness, and the path that is truly mine." Let the words be an invitation, not a performance. Then allow tomorrow to show you where the activation has become real. Watch for the small evidence, the pause before reacting, the courage to say no, the unexpected calm after an old trigger, or the quiet desire to create instead of explain. You are not being asked to defeat anyone. You are being asked to stop leaving yourself. You are not being asked to expose every hidden motive. You are being asked to protect the clarity that allows your gifts to mature. You are not being asked to convince the world that you have awakened. You are being asked to live in a way that makes your awakening undeniable to you. Before you scroll, take a moment to be part of what's forming here. Drop one intention in the comments, something real, then respond to someone else's with encouragement or energy. This isn't content, it's collective alignment. Energy multiplies when intention connects. If something in this message resonated, don't keep it to yourself. Someone in your orbit is waiting for this exact activation. Share it. And if you felt a soul nudge, subscribe. Stay in the flow. You're not just watching, you're expanding. This is your space, and we're just getting started.